So when you're ready to, we've got the buttocks in close to the equipment. Ease the body down over bolsters, cushions, towels, blankets, whatever you're using. Make sure the head can be propped as well, so the chin tucks down, the chin doesn't jut up. We want the neck long. That the arms come out wide, that the shoulders fall away down each side of the bolster equipment. Turn the palms up, gesture of openness and receiving. Arms out wider and higher where you can, opening up that underarm region. Come down through the front body. Is the abdominal wall, front chest and shoulder region open. Down into the hips. Slide down the legs into the feet. Feel the feet at hip distance parallel. Let the feet drop away. If it's not easy, take the feet a little bit wider, but ideally in line with the front of the hips. Then the feet surrender, dropping out or in, whether you're an internal or external rotator. Notice how that feels for you. And we give ourselves these few moments softening. So we're not trying to force the body anywhere in particular. If you are over harder equipment, you've got like a foam roller there and there's any tension, ease off it or put some extra cushions there if you've got them handy, so that we can soften. We want to be able to let go of the day that we've had, let go of the week. Feel there's a softening down. If the gradient is too big from the floor to the bolster equipment, stack something under the bottom or slide off the equipment, move down a little bit. So again, we're trying to soften, we're trying to surrender. We don't want the body gripping or holding. So the yin practice, we let go. We hold poses for longer. We try not to fidget or move around in the postures. That creates energy, heat and warmth. Yin goes to the cooling side of practices. It's stillness. When we come into the stillness, the quietening, the cooling, the calming down through the system, surrendering. Getting in between and underneath the muscles, hitting through ligaments, joints and fascia, hitting through into the meridian lines, connecting up through to the organs. So making sure you're drinking plenty of water after the class, flushing the system out. And then just let yourself breathe here. We're not trying to over-breathe, we're not forcing, we're not opening. We're just allowing ourselves to be. And maybe we notice sensations through the body differently. So I'm going to be quiet for a while now and just turn inward. Notice if the mind wanders out again, keep bringing it in, focusing, feeling, connecting in. In the stillness, is there a quietening? Physically we surrender. Mentally, can we come to stillness? Emotionally we balance. And spiritually we surrender, present moment. And exhale fully, push the heels out, just stretch up the back of the legs. Bend the legs up, bringing the soles of feet together and knees drop away. Then if you've got blocks or cushions handy and you've got sore legs or hips, place the equipment under the side of hips and legs, giving them some support if you need it, so that the insides of the legs get to soften. They don't actually grip and hold the legs. So if you're not quite mobile or you're quite tense, you've been doing a lot of sitting, perhaps, then stack that equipment in under the side of the legs, buttocks, hips, wherever you can, giving yourself support. And so again, we just let the legs drop away. Then we're going to take the arms up, reach back for the elbows. If that's too intense, for the wrists, cup hands. If there's shoulder injuries, long arms. And again, we want to surrender here. We're not forcing, we're just allowing the body to open. We've brought it into this back bend, passive opening, supported, and breathe into what we feel. Not over breathing, not deepening, but just rather a surrendering. So if we get the feedback from the body, so if the knees drop out but those legs start to shake, start to get a tremor, then you need to prop them. So the muscles will be switching on, activating and trying to hold the legs whilst they're trying to drop away. Notice what feedback you get from the body as we transition, as we hold. Can we be conscious? Again, we're not trying to stretch or force the breath. We're giving ourselves time to surrender. Maybe the breath softens, maybe the front body opens, maybe the hips drop out a little bit more, opening up. And simply just change the arms. If you're holding elbows, wrists or hands, just change the grip to the unnatural side. Notice the difference in the feeling. Again, we're not forcing, we're not overstretching, we're simply holding. Changing the grip so we have natural and habitual patterns. Change it to unnatural side and notice any feelings. Then are we able to soften around those feelings, getting releases? Again, notice in the quiet what's here for you. Next, inhale, let the arms stretch out long. Bring them all the way down around beside you. Give yourself a moment surrendering. Again, just let the shoulders drop around the sides. Chest opening, front abdominal region lengthening. Chin tucking. And then to come off the equipment, if there's any back issues whatsoever, roll to your right side. If it's easy, simply slide the elbows back and push to sit up. Once you do come up, bring those legs out into a long diamond shape. So we're sitting forward, we're going to let the body roll down and in, tuck the chin in, and let the head surrender towards the feet. So if you come forward and you've gone really deep and there's a pulling sensation at the lower back, then don't come in so deep. So remember, we want to feel our first points of resistance, not forcing past them. We tuck the chin in, but if there's neck issues, we might need to prop the head. We get the broadness across the shoulder blades, the rounding through the middle back, and then the length from tailbone to crown of head. And again, we drop in and we surrender, that first point of resistance. We're not using the arms to pull us in. From here we surrender. We be still, and the only time we move again is if there's heat or tension, or if the body invites us deeper. Can we soften and can we breathe into these feelings? Finding our release, finding our length. Mindful of the breath, mindful of feelings through the body. Notice what arises, what comes up out of the stillness for you. Can you continue to breathe in and out, not threading another thought onto the previous thought? Keep coming back to present moment, surrendering inward, focusing inward, letting go of story, letting go of thought. We are not our thoughts. Again, in the yin poses, can we stay in them? Can we surrender inward? Giving ourselves the time to release. So those layers start to peel away, the tension levels start to release up. And then last exhale here, then we're going to roll the back up. Use the hands for support if you need. Push away from the mat. Slide the back up, roll it up, hold around the knees or shins once you're eventually up. Pulling against the arms so there's some resistance. Let one side of the ear tilt down, right ear down, left ear up if it's easy. Easy stretch on the neck, and if it's sore on the neck, bring the chin down and around a little bit further, protecting the neck as we gently stretch. Can we breathe into the feeling? Again, always being really gentle with our neck. It does so much work during the days. Really gentle with it as we stretch, never forcing. So same principles with the yin. We find that first point of resistance and then we just breathe into it. And if there's softening, the chin or head might tilt a little deeper. If we're getting tension, we ease up and out and change the direction slightly, however that feels for you. And then inhale slowly and gently, the head centers, and then slowly to the opposite side. So ever so gently, left ear down, right ear up. And if the neck doesn't like it, you start to bring the chin down and around and roll down and into release out, or stay where you can. Again, if there's any gripping or pulling or any aggravation, you just start to make subtle adjustments. We don't want to force the neck, we don't want muscles gripping, trying to hold our head in a particular area. Remember that neck is vulnerable. Does a lot of work during the day, so being gentle with it. Especially if we're sitting at computers, it starts to collapse. Whatever feelings are here, we're mindful, we breathe in and out gently. And then slowly we start to bring the chin down to center chest. And tuck the chin in and up. And feel this gentle stretch through back of neck so we don't let the head hang. We tuck the chin in and up as if it presses through to the neck behind us, elongating the neck as we stretch. We stabilize. And then inhale, slowly the head comes up to neutral. Once it does, just move freely, head side to side, roll shoulders, maneuver the neck and back. However that feels for you, just some gentle movement. Noticing if it feels a little freed up for you. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring our legs up. So feet come out wide in line with the edge of the yoga mat. You're either leaning back and windscreen wiping the knees across to the left. If it's too easy, if there's no point of resistance yet, reach for the right ankle and bring the foot further back behind you. We press this right hip flexor quadricep forward. If there's still no stretch there, come back to be straight on. Push down and lift up, opening through this right hip flexor and quadricep some more. Arms need to activate, holding us as we work the stretch where we can. Tailbone tucking, chin tucking, and breathe into the opening. So varying degrees of opening, wherever that is for you, and then just breathing into those points of resistance. And then if the body softens, then take it further. Feel where it opens for you, but not forcing. If you're straight up, then just release the pelvis down, knees across to that left side. Adjust the right foot back out if you tucked it further back. Knees come up to center, and when you're ready, knees across to your right. So on this side, tuck and press that left hip flexor quadricep forward. If there's no stretch, no point of resistance, bring that left foot further back, angling, tucking, lengthening. Again, if there's no point of resistance, come straight back up, press down to lift up and bring the pelvis straight up. Again, working around your body, your joints, especially with these arms and shoulders holding us on these ones. They're a little bit of a stabilizer that's going to build heat in the body. We're trying to get the lower half to relax, to surrender. So feeling that first point of resistance, softening, and then you might be able to take it deeper. So they're the times we move. If the shoulders or wrists are jamming, ease off for a moment. And then lower the pelvis down. Take the knees across to the right. If you came straight up, bring that left foot back out. And once you do, release it off. Legs out in front of you. Give those quadriceps a rub down, all the way down the legs. If the wrists or shoulders are sore, just mobilize, roll out. And again, just some free movement, mobilizing, noticing how it feels. When you're ready, we're just going to do an easy prop up of the hips onto the edge of the equipment. Comfortable posture with the legs. You can just sit cross legs, let the knees drop away. We're working the upper body here for a few moments. So right arm comes across in front of your body, left arm up in front of that, and then keep the right shoulder sealed down the back. Roll the back out, tuck the chin in, and if you're easy for the full wrap of the forearms, for full Garudasana arms, wrap, round the back out, chin tucks in, and keep breathing. So again, we find the stretch, that first point of resistance. Make sure you're not jutting the jawline, the chin presses in and up to back of neck, shoulders broad, and keep breathing. And then noticing if there's any tension or tightness around the shoulders, through middle back, upper back, can we breathe into the spaciousness gently, opening up. As we hold the stretch, notice, do you feel any releasing, any softening? Again, try not to move once you get your posture. The only time you move is if there's pain, heat building, or you're going in deeper, feeling more rounding and more opening into it. Quiet again, notice what arises. Thoughts, let them go. Keep coming back to breath. Sounds, keep coming back to breath. There's no rush in the yin. We completely soften. And when you're ready, simply let those arms unravel. Let them unravel, and then when you're ready, nice and slow, roll the spine up to sit tall. And give yourself a moment when you're there. Can you be still and just let the weight of the shoulders drop back down to the body? Feel you're being pulled up tall. Imagine there's a string attached to the crown of your head, lifting you tall. Softness through the body. If there is aggravation and you really feel you need to adjust, do so. Otherwise, completely still. Remember mindfulness as we hold our postures. Surrendering, finding those points of resistance, and then letting there be softening. We're not forcing. So we need to learn to switch in, tune in. Then when you're ready, left arm across in front of the body and right arm in front of that. So again, you may wish to stay here. Roll the shoulders out, tuck the chin in. Make sure the chin tucks in to protect the back of your neck. And then full wrap of the arms, forearms into what we call Garudasana arms. And then round out the back more if it's easy. Chin tucks in a little more and breathe. And then surrender into these feelings of breath. And again, noticing, try not to hang off one point of your neck. So again, please make sure that chin is tucked in. Even if you need to, use your hands to prop the forehead a little if you feel you're hanging off one part of the cervical spine, making sure you're not collapsing on your neck. And then keep breathing. Shoulders broad, is there space there? Spine long, what do we feel? Again, as we take the time just to be quite inward, mindfully focusing in, tuning in. Ever noticed in these like forward rolls or forward bends, we turn away from the outside world, so we turn our focus in. It is said the answers are always found within. Giving ourselves time to tune in, to find them. As you take the time, maybe you feel your feet soften. Not just shoulders and upper back, but whole body focus. Tongue in the mouth soften. Facial muscles relax. Belly soft. What do we feel? Your breath's gentle. Is there a cooling feeling, a quietening? Remember, no tension, no neural tension, no grabbing. If so, release it out a bit. And then just let's release those arms anyway, let them unravel. And then once they do, it's a nice slow roll up through the back. No rush, nice and slow in your time. Try to come up and take a moment being completely still. So we've got the hips propped up higher than the knees. We should be able to keep our pelvis in neutral, our lower back in extension, not rolling out in flexion. So neutral curves up through the back, and we let our shoulders drop. Imagine there's that string attached to your head, and just let it lift you. Keep breathing. Give yourself a moment being still. Let the spine recalibrate, rebalance after being that rounded upper back feeling. And just notice, is there lightness? Is there more spaciousness? And then exhale fully, roll it out, shake it out, do what you need to. Mobilize where you feel you might need to, whether it's a bit of rotation, whether it's rolling, maneuvering. Now when you're ready, we're going to bring the legs up and out. So it's like a squat. We want our feet in as close as we can with our toes out, our knees out. Now if you get your feet in close and you're already falling out behind you, the feet come out further in front. We want our hands in prayer position, elbows inside each of the legs. So ideally we keep trying to bring the thumb and sternum to touch, chin tucks in, and if you're falling back, feet further forward, and keep tilting the pelvis. So the pelvis is tilting forward, not rolling back. If you're rolling back posteriorly, again, I'll say it again, feet forward, and try and tilt the body forward. So you want to keep this feeling of extension in as close as you can, and just holding into it. So spine nice and tall, chin tucked in, and keep breathing. Like a frog squat, so toes out, knees out, elbows and knees against each other, and just start to notice around these inside edge of legs, around the hips and glutes, through that lower back. Can we lift sternum up, thumbs onto sternum, chin tucked in, and is there natural breath? So again, we find that is there a first point of resistance? Maybe one leg feels different to the other. Maybe one hip is tighter. Notice these feelings. Notice if it's the back body. Can the breath soften? Can we find our stillness? From here, the hands are going to come down to the floor. Lift the buttocks up. Turn the feet parallel if you can. Just let the backs of the hands release beside the feet. Bend the legs, ribs on thighs, as close as you need or can be. Head heavy, arms and shoulders heavy. Surrender into your forward fold. Make sure ribs are on thighs. Protecting your lower back as we surrender. Can you feel that upper body starting to lengthen? Shoulders becoming heavy, dropping towards the ears. Head becoming heavy, dropping towards the yoga mat. Legs soft, not having to push down through the yoga mat with the feet. Legs a little more bent, relaxing. And then can you feel length all the way through that lower back region, tailbone from lower back, mid back, neck to crown of head. Our head is like a weight, pulling us closer down. Notice what it feels like through the calf muscle. Notice hammies up to glutes. Just a few more moments. Can we surrender in? And then when you're ready, lift your head and chest, hands in front. Just walk your feet back or hands forward into your down dog. Just keep the bolster there. Just go each side of it if you can. And just hold into the posture for a moment. Walk the legs out of the spot in your down dog. Swing the hips side to side, shoulders, neck. Give yourself a bit of mobilization. Nothing overdoing it, just gentle. And then we're coming through to an easy pigeon. Now if your hips don't like it, you've got your bolster handy, cushions, bring the right knee through. Whether you want to put the bolster underneath that right buttock and sit back onto it so you've got something to anchor onto, or whether you want to pull it up through your legs and have it in front of you and rest your body on it, so your front body on it. If you don't need it and it's in the way, just push it off to the side and get that right buttock all the way back to the mat. So again, we want to feel these first points of resistance. Hold into them without tensing. And if there's pinching in this front right hip, come up, tuck the tailbone under some more, and maybe prop something in the front body so you're not jamming on this front hip. So we've got to find these variations. All our body types are different. Left hip forward and down, right buttock pressing back. Now if you're really mobile and you're all the way through, there's no resistance point, take the body into a twist so the left arm could feed underneath the right and twist looking out towards your right side. Again, if there's still no resistance, you might want to bring the right foot further out in front of you so the shins are at a right angle with the front of the mat, or you come into more a split position if there's no point of resistance, and then you might feel it through the legs. So again, everyone's different. You may wish to bend the back leg up and reach the right hand back to the left foot and work the pigeon in here. So varying degrees depending your level of flexibility, mobility, and where you wish to take the stretch tonight. Again, it's about surrendering. So you can be quite mobile when we do our flow classes. The body warms up and you feel those releases as you move. But in the yin, we want to stay cool. So if you've gripped into a posture and you've gone really deep and you're feeling tension, ease it back. Nervous system doesn't like it. It'll grip. It'll keep you gripped. Keep feeding back, softening until you feel the releasing. So first point of resistance, and you can surrender there. And keep breathing. And again, is the breath gentle? And when you're still, the quietening inward. So if you're still fidgeting around in the posture, maybe you've gone too deep and the body's not comfortable, ease back, and that's why you've got props handy if you need them. No single muscle or joint is under any strain. And we forget that. We like to push ourselves. Yin is not about pushing, it's about surrendering. Notice if a story arises. Keep coming back to breath. Keep coming back to present moment. Easing up and out of it. So again, slow transitions out. Being gentle, being mindful as we move. Walk it back in, step it back to down dog, around equipment, wherever you placed it, and just ease back up into your down dog in your time. Mobilize it, walk it out, swing the hips, do whatever you need to. Give yourself some mobility, especially if you got tight, got jammed in there. Remember being mindful as you hold. Second side when you're ready. Simply bring that left knee through, foot across the mat. And again, you might want the bolster underneath that left buttock so you can anchor back and push into it. Maybe you want the bolster coming in through underneath the body, especially if there's a pinching feeling in the front left hip. Hands back, tuck tailbone. Give yourself more space and more height so that left hip doesn't pinch. If you're more mobile, left foot further forward. If there's still nothing, keep bringing that left foot through, and you might be in a full split position rather than a pigeon. Arms coming through, maybe the right arm feeds under the left and you twist the upper body out to your left. Or maybe you're going to bend that right leg up and reach left hand back for that right foot. So again, varying degrees of the posture, depending on your mobility and flexibility, wherever that is for you tonight. So again, you don't go to that end point of movement. You find that first point of resistance. There's a difference. Can you feel it? Not forcing, but allowing the body to feel that first point of resistance. And then the feedback from that first point of resistance. This is okay. It's not overdoing it. The body will surrender and take it deeper eventually. Stay with these feelings. Quietening in. Again, if you're still fidgeting around in the posture, it means you're either too deep, there's discomfort. So come out, prop yourself differently, whatever you need to do, and ease back into stillness. And again, it's not like a flow class where you're going deep and then you come out of it. It's like you need to be gentle here, letting the body ease in its time. Learning to listen from within. Tuning into the body's higher intelligence. And exhale fully. Ease up and out. Again, nice slow transitions out. Lift yourself up. From this side though, we're going to swing the back leg, that right leg all the way around. We're coming into an easy twist. So if your left leg isn't happy being bent, take your left leg out in front of you straight. Right foot comes over, outside edge. Right arm wrap, left hand behind. Twist and look back. So in these twists, you'll feel that first point of resistance. The body probably won't twist much further. If you're really mobile, by all means, bind and wrap under the leg, but don't jam the shoulders, not forcing the neck. And so we'll feel this first point of resistance in the twist. And once you're there again, be still. Notice what changes for you as we hold into it, breathing, softening. So maybe the breath will start to move more easily through the body. Maybe the broadness across the upper back opens up for us. Really fine-tuning our focus to the subtleties. Does the mind start to become more still as the body holds into stillness? It's this cue for the mind to be still. We're not rushing around. If you keep your eyes still, you gently close them. And then again, you haven't got an agitation. Visual is diminished. Still, or turn the focus inward as we close the eyes. Everything's surrendering. Exhale fully and then slowly release out of it. Come all the way back forward. Just give yourself a moment to sit still as the shoulders, chest, belly comes around. Just let the legs be gentle wherever they drop to. Be still. Give yourself this moment. And then your choice, shoulders roll, neck mobilize, legs shake out in front if you need to, whatever works for you. And then when you're ready, right leg straight or right leg tucking under, left foot coming over outside edge of that right leg. And once you're there, right arm wrap, left hand behind. And again, you're either binding around behind the back, under the leg if you've got the mobility, without jamming or forcing. Find the first point of resistance in the twist. So again, we rotate the body, so the belly comes to the left, the shoulders, the chest, we look back, not forcing the neck. We encourage the shoulder back and then we breathe. And in the breathing and in the stillness, what occurs? What are the feelings here for you? So maybe there's not much more rotation, but there's surrendering and softening in this rotation. Tensions releasing away. And again, notice those feelings. Is there softening? Staying focused inward. Eyes, have you kept them wandering or are they still? Have you closed them with the focus inward? Is there a softening in the rotation of the body? Last exhale for you, rotate out. Bring the body all the way back through. Once you do, release those legs out in front of you. Give them a shake out, give them a rub down. Mobilize shoulders, neck, whatever that is for you. Make sure there's plenty of room on the mat behind you. Moving equipment out of the way if it's there. When you're ready, use your core strength and roll the back down as slow as you can. If you've got a bad back, support yourself to lower down. Give yourself a moment, Shavasana. So let the body rest, let the body soften. And then before we rest down completely, we're going to bend the legs up, feet hip distance parallel. Bring the arms down beside us. Push into the feet and just gently roll the hips up off the mat into a mini back bend. Lift heels or toes and roll back down. So we're going to mobilize it a few more times. Feet press down evenly. Push into them, roll the hips up off the mat. Lift high, lift heels or toes and roll it down again. Buttocks come down, whatever you lifted, heels or toes come down again. Push through the feet evenly, roll the hips up, back bending the spine, lifting up. Heels or toes lift and we roll down again. So this next one, if you feel warmed up enough, press into the feet and lift the hips up, feeling that first point of resistance, how high. If it's easy for you, lift your heels or toes, hands in under the back, easy clasp. Rock from shoulder to shoulder, squeeze them in closer under the back. Chin tucks down, drop the heels or toes again, and simply hold here. So if you've come up, there's too much tension in the body, you feel there's shakiness, well then you need to drop the hips or come a little lower or ease out, or just do a few more moments mobilizing. Holding up into this back bend for a few more breaths where you can. So again, it's a little bit of heat generated. We're lifting against gravity. Hold it to where you can. Let the breath be gentle. Notice as the chin's tucked down a little bit more, sliding in and lengthening the neck. And then simply lift your heels or toes, let the arms go, let them slide wide, and roll your back onto the mat. Buttocks come down last. Once they do, bring the knees into the chest, hug them in, be still and soften. Try not to rock it unless you really feel you need to. Can you simply be still and feel the letting go? Notice your back body. How does it feel? Right buttock to left buttock, up through the back to the shoulders, balanced or different. Chin tucks down, elongate the back of the neck. And just keep the hug of the knees in gently. Tension through shoulders, relax them down the back. Notice how it feels through the hips and the legs. And if you can, simply let the arms go out to the sides. Let the feet drop down to the yoga mat. Take them out long, completely still into Shavasana in your time. If you feel you need to make adjustments, make the adjustments. If you need to put extra layers over, under you, whatever you need to do to be still, resting down into Shavasana to finish, make the changes that you need to, and rest into stillness as soon as you can. So again, minimize the fidgeting, completely still, and what's here for you. Bring a slow, steady breath all the way up through the body. Breathe out, slide down through your legs, out through your feet, up through your toes. And feel is there spaciousness, is there length in and around your toes. And then drop down into the arches of the feet. Are there any sensations in the arches of your feet? Come through to the ankles. Is there a sense of spaciousness through the ankle joints? Slide up your shins and come into the knees. Is there spaciousness around the knee joints? Inhale, slide up the femur, the bone of the upper leg, into the hips. Is there spaciousness in and around your hips? Bring your awareness to rest in the bowl-like shape of the pelvis. And is there a spaciousness within the pelvis that you can rest into? Bring the awareness to your tailbone. Breathe in, slide up the spine to the top of the neck. And then breathe out, soften. And can you feel the curvature of your spine? Notice the feelings of it. Bring the awareness into the rib cage region. Can you sit into the spaciousness within the rib cage? Bring your awareness up towards the top of your chest, slide up the sternum up towards the neck or throat, slide out long along the collarbones, wide to the shoulders. Slide down the upper arms and rest in the elbows. Is there spaciousness of the elbow joints? Slide down the forearms into the wrists. Is there spaciousness in and around the wrists? Slide down into your hands, fingers and thumbs. And is there a spaciousness between fingers, thumbs? Inhale, slide up the inside edge of the arms, all the way to underarms. up through the back of the neck and feel the neck elongate by tucking the chin. And then exhale, soften. Feel the bottom jawline relax, unhinge. And then slide your focus up into the middle of your head, resting in the middle of the cranium. And just give yourself time here. Again, noticing is there spaciousness. If the mind has wandered, can you bring it back to breath? Can you start to gradually lengthen and deepen your breaths? As those breaths start to deepen, gently rub thumbs and fingers and wriggle toes. Opening, closing hands and flexing feet back and forth. Circling joints, ankles and wrists, 4 rotations. Opposite direction in your time. And then stretch the arms up and over when you're ready. Stretch out long. And sigh and soften. Twice more. And last stretch for you, bend the legs up, roll to your right, give yourself a moment there, moving slowly to come up and sit in your time. Please prop the hips up if you're falling away, protect your lower back. Tuck the chin in, and once you do, coming into Hikini Mudra, so thumbs and fingers separated, gently touch fingertips and thumb tips together. So if you've got like on a baseball mitt on each hand, so fingers separated, space between the hands. Let the fingers or hands rest in front of the navel center. Tuck the chin in and take a few more breaths, slow and steady. It's a brain and body balancer. Notice how it feels for you. Next inhale, let the arms sweep wide and up. Connect the hands together and touch to the forehead. As we move through life with thoughtfulness. Touch the hands to the lips as we move through life. We have kind words. Bring the hands to the heart. As we move through life, we have compassion and we have kindness. Namaste. Fold the body, stretch long, surrender forward. Be still or rock it out, however that feels for you to finish tonight. Give yourself this moment surrendering in. And then when you're ready, rolling up and finishing in your time.